It is episode 5 of the Dogs In podcast. Episode 4 was only a couple days ago. Had a few audio issues, but got them fixed now. So you'll be able to hear Coach, who's with me. But we have a special guest joining us today, former Ice Dog alum. Everybody loved him. He was a favorite forward. So let's have him hop on here.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you guys for having me on.
Now, Bud, I know you're at Northeastern, so it's probably a blast. College, everything. I've been there. I definitely know there's a lot of fun. But I mean, what was the process of getting to Northeastern?
I mean, obviously it was a lot of work. I had a lot of help from, coaching like Theros here, but it was a long ride. Did 3 years of juniors up in Alaska with you guys. Loved every minute of it. And I'm just so excited to finally be at college and getting started.
I mean, Coach, you've seen him play, and maybe he was a little injured for just a smidge, but seeing his play transition to the upper level, you could touch on that.
Yeah. Well, me and Lundy go way back. I think the first time I had you on the ice was when you were, 10, maybe 12?
Probably. Yeah.
Something like that, back in Minnesota, and then obviously coaching at Holy Family High School in Minnesota, and where Marc played. Just to see him grow in the game and as a person it's been a blessing throughout, just knowing how much work he's put in. I watch him throughout the summers. He trained with me in the summer, and he works out all the time, and he's put in the work and he's put in the time and what I call sweat in the bucket, and he's getting rewarded for it. So we all up here obviously can't be more proud of him as an ice dog, but I know his family very, very well. Unbelievable family, and for him to see playing Division I now it's awesome. It's a great feeling as a coach.
And Lundy, we talked about this on last week's podcast. You've been through 3 coaches in your time as an ice dog. You had Allison, you had Prof. That was an interesting 2 games.
Yeah, very.
And you had RT. I mean, what was that like, kind of going through the transition through your career?
Yeah, it's a lot of change that goes on between coaches. But I think with each coach, there's different things. Like there's obviously great things, and there's some of the bad. But you just kind of gotta focus on the great. I ultimately finished my career with Theros, and it was one of the greatest things ever. I think I couldn't have gotten more lucky with having him as a coach. Obviously, I've been working with him my whole life, so I know kind of what he expected from me. And I think I just got really lucky. I mean, I had a lot of help from each of them, and I think that ultimately it set me up for success and finding my way to Division I hockey.
Yeah, it's always interesting having multiple people on because you never know exactly what you're going to get, because I know there's definitely some stories that you know about that maybe Lundy doesn't know about that and there's definitely stories Lundy knows that will probably never see the light of day besides in the locker room.
Probably better that way.
I'd say so.
But Lundy, for you with kind of the injuries you had, if you could kind of touch on that and some of the stuff you did in the rehab process, because I know.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, my first year, I had a little bit of a pull in my oblique, which was a little minor injury, and then had to work back from that. But the big injury I had was, the whole thing with being in the hospital and going through being in a coma and stuff like that. But the way I kind of looked at it was just kind of like, excuse my language, but happens. And I think that everybody's going to go through stuff. It's just kind of how you look at it. So when stuff like bad stuff happens to you, I think it's just important to keep working, take the next step, and ultimately just grind. Like, I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of players need to find is just like why they're doing it, and just, keep grinding.
I'm curious for both of you. We talked about the one Instagram page. I'm not going to give them a free shout out unless they pay for it. But you probably know the one I'm talking about, Lundy, the one that talks about all the places in the Knoll.
Oh yeah, definitely know that one.
Both of you probably have different answers, but if you could talk about your favorite place to play besides the Dipper, because obviously it's the best, then
My favorite place to play, it's definitely Anchorage, I think, because they kind of have that same atmosphere, but it's the exact opposite. It's just all hate. They don't like us. We don't like them. It works great. I mean, there's nothing better than showing up on a Friday and Saturday night and just pounding Anchorage. I mean, that's honestly like the greatest thing I can think of about junior hockey is taking your rival and just and their crowd and beating them. I think that's just what everyone loves to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been obviously coaching for a while, and there's quite a few places that I liked and enjoyed to coach in, and obviously there's nothing better than the Dip for sure. Yeah, I mean, I like going to Anchorage and having that rivalry and in-state rivalry. I think is kind of our season also within the main season of the NA. I think is it's pretty fun, and it gets some heated battles going. So I'd go on the same line of that as Lundy does.
now what about the worst place to play?
I won't comment on bad places.
There's definitely a few though.
Yeah, there's some, but I just know what we have.
Fair enough. That's
Very sure.
good, a politically correct answer.
Yep.
Lundy, for you going to college, I mean, obviously jumping to D1 is every level of hockey is just another notch of speed. And I mean, have you kind of noticed that, or were you just like, all right, I got to work a little harder and I'll be fine?
Yeah, no, it's been a big jump. A lot of these guys are, we have a few guys that are drafting NHL. Most of our guys are at NHL depth camps. So right away, you notice like the little things that they do. Like the biggest thing that I noticed was like before practice, they're there an hour and a half early. They're getting on the bike, they're stretching, they're doing film with coaches. They're every day's dialed in, and then on the ice, it's no like everybody's dialed in and focused. And then after practice, you spend more time stretching, recovery, dieting. Stuff like this is just like stuff that you kind of overlook sometimes, but it's the most important part of hockey is, like, I think. And then on top of that, like you got guys that are just, they want to get better every day. So I think combining the two is super special, and it's like it's different, but it's not, because I think that even in the Knoll, like the guys do have that same mentality, and I think it's I think it transcends hockey too. It's about just the kind of the people that are playing.
Well, Coach, I've been asking all the questions, but I mean, you're more than welcome to jump in here, ask Lundy some questions. I know you guys were talking a little bit till we got everything situated, but
Yeah, no, I think just for you, obviously some of your goals going forward, I guess and after talking to your coaching staff, what are some of the goals that they talk about as a team, and what they've given you to round out your game even more going forward?
Oh, for me, it's been, just kind of finding my role. I'm 6'4", I weigh 200 pounds. Like, it's going to be to play hard. It's going to be to play like hard minutes, get to the net, like you've been telling me since I've been, 10 years old, drive the middle, play really well defensively, stuff like this. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same stuff you've been telling me. It's just like at this level, it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah. No, and that's it comes to fruition, and like you said, we've been talking about it for a long time, and last year you really truly bought into it, and that's why you're where you're at right now. And it's the work that you put in, and the listening. Like I've always said, listening's a skill, right? And
Yeah.
You've taken that skill on, and now you just got to adapt it to the level you're at now, and that's awesome. What are some of the goals within the team? Is there any specific, or is it layered out in any different way?
I mean, the way that we kind of put it for us is just be a team always, keep working. Um, I think that the biggest thing for our group is like what our coach preaches every day is togetherness. And then obviously we have our systems and stuff like that, but whatever we do as a team. We win, we lose as a team. Um, you know, we we fight together. We are my roommates are walking up and they're loud, as shit. But they're yeah, it's been great. I think that the biggest thing is just together. Everything we do is together.
I was going to say eat together, live together.
Oh,
Dude, they're so loud out there. But
no, that's awesome. Definitely gonna want you to. We're gonna do this again with the team. You can talk to the boys at some point, just to see some familiar faces that are on the team. I'm sure Pendo and Norky and all those guys would love to see you and talk with you. So
oh yeah, I mean I've talked to Pendo a couple times, but it's always great to hear and see the boys.
for sure. Yeah. Yep.
But then I saw when you talked to Coach earlier, but can we see the view out of the apartment? I mean, it looked like a gorgeous view there.
Yeah, here it's the sun just set, but here I can kind of walk you guys over here. We're looking out. You know, we can kind of see if we went to like the other side of our room. You can see Fenway, the museums right here. We're right in the downtown Boston area, so it's really really cool. And then my room here it's not really picked up, but that's my bed. Got the dog's jersey up there, clothes, pretty basic standard stuff here. I don't need much.
It's minimal work.
I got one more question for you, Lundy. What kind of advice can you give some of the new guys coming in for their first home opener in the Dipper in Fairbanks in front of our fans?
God, it's like nothing else. It gives me like goosebumps thinking about it because the appreciation and like the loyalty that our fans have to this team is beyond anything I've ever experienced. It's truly special, and I wish I could do it again. But the thing that I'd say to everybody would just be to, take a look around in warm-ups. Look at how many people like love you for no reason yet. Like they have no reason to love you, but they do because you're wearing that sweater. And then take it in, get your first shift on your belt, and then go to work. I mean, it's as simple as that. You're still playing the same game, but you're just playing in front of 3,000 people that love you.
That's awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah, and I did a story on JT yesterday, and he kind of one of the questions he talked about his village, and talking with RT, Prof, some of the billets up in the stands. I mean, the relationship that you guys built in your time here. I mean, if you could touch on that, just like how good of a relationship you have with your billets.
Yeah, you live with your family, right? Like I lived with Kristen, and then I lived with the Lorkeys, which were great. Both of them were great. But you meet everybody. You meet all the billets because we're all together all the time. So, okay. But yeah, no, everybody, all the billets are great. They truly like embrace this hockey program. They love each and every one of us. We feel like they're kids most times, but they treat us like adults. But it's really special too because they are the ones that are kind of the foundation of this whole thing, and without them, we'd just be a bunch of delinquent kids living in Fairbanks, Alaska. So, thank you guys.
It's awesome.
All right, and then do you have a favorite Ice Dogs moment? It could be off ice, on ice, your favorite moment.
Favorite Ice Dog moment. Let's see. I think for me, It was when we took a trip right after. This was last year. Me and a few of the guys took a trip to Denali with our billets, and on the spur of a moment, like I think it was me, Norkovicus, Goletchin, Ingus, and I think I'm blanking on someone right now, but we all walked up to like the top of like this mountain, like just out on a spur. Like we just walked up, and it was like a 3-hour hike, I think it was. Kristen, I'm sorry if you're watching this, because we were the ones that we just ended up walking, and she was down in the base of the mountain just waiting for us. Like I had no idea because we had no service, nothing. But like that memory I'll always have, and I think I have some great pictures to show for it as well.
That's awesome.
And it had nothing to do with hockey also.
That's
the thing.
That goes off to the life experience stuff that I talk about a lot during the recruiting process, right? And there's a lot of stuff that you'll remember about the hockey part, but the life experience that we get up here is he just proved it, and I didn't really even know about that other than seeing some pictures, but I didn't know that you ditched your billet, Mom.
No, we were just gonna walk up to like the top of this little ridge, maybe like a 5-minute walk, and then we're like, oh, dude, there's a ridge right there. Let's just go walk up there. It's definitely gonna be like 10 more minutes, whatever. Like we'll be fine. And then it turned into like the next summit, and it was just like it kept going on. We didn't want to stop until we finally reached the top. So
That's cool.
it was a lot of fun. Always remember that.
It happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of these days when I'm not doing news, I can venture out in Alaska.
Yep.
I've seen animals. That's about it.
Yep. That's awesome, Lundy. Appreciate you coming on, man. We obviously always talk, but we'll get you with the boys here soon also, and good luck going forward. We're obviously cheering for you, following you, and as always, if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. I look forward to watching the rest of these videos. These are awesome. So good luck to you guys in the rest of the season, and especially this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, Coach. Now it's just down to you and me. So I know this is just another season in the books for you, but this is, I would say, the first true season where I feel like you have everything that you want, have full control of everything. I mean, is there any anticipation? I'm saying I know we already started the season, but home opener is a little different here in Fairbanks.
Yeah. No, it feels good. Obviously, the success we've been having so far. But like I've said before, like with Dakota and Prof, all of our scouts, at the showcase, we had a handful of scouts that were there that we brought in to help in the recruiting of next season already. And then, adding, Trevor Stewart back on staff to help out in certain areas. It just feels like it's our team now, that we had always talked about from the time I got hired. Me and Dakota talked a year prior to that on hopefully working together at some point, just because we have the kind of a like mind on what we see a good team looking like. And now that it's here, it's on the table. We've had a little bit of success with what we thought we could have success with. Dak and I talk all the time, just about where we want it to go. And, we're getting a little hint of it. So to bring it into the first home series this weekend, we're pretty excited. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Dakota does so much work behind the scenes with recruiting, with scouting these players that we have on our current team. We watch a lot of video on all these players, and so to see it now in front of us, a lot of that work is paying off, and we wouldn't be where we're at right now on building this without our scouts, without everybody involved. So just excited to see what we can put on the ice at home now.
And then just as we start to wrap up here, do we have any hints about who we're potentially seeing starting for the home opener, or is we still a little bit up in the air?
We thought about picking straws or
Rock, paper, scissors.
no, we have calls with our goalie coach, Adam Carlson, back in Minnesota. We hired him on last year, and obviously he's done an unbelievable job on, finding the goalies for one, but now, the tripod of goalies that we have right now. It's going to be a lot up to Adam on what he sees, and Dakota and him do goalie sessions on the ice here, and so they talk a lot about on different situations of Friday night, Saturday night, what type of team we're playing. So we'll probably finalize that tomorrow morning, but right now we don't.
So that way
Don't
we
really
can
know
kind
for
of talk
sure.
to some of the other guys, see how they're feeling.
I'm excited. I'll probably, because today's Wednesday, right?
I think so.
Kind of all makes sense for me. I'll definitely see you at practice tomorrow,
Perfect.
so that way we can kind of talk to some of the other guys, see how they're feeling,
Yeah.
and then Friday's game day, which ironically is the home open series is probably one of the most important weekends for high school football up here too. Because North Pole and Slovatna are both fighting for top of conference, top spot in D2, and then we have the Dog Bowl on Saturday.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
You're going to be a busy man.
Well, luckily, Adrian's helping me out.
Oh, nice.
We can make sure it's covered so
That's good.
nobody gets upset.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And then I think we get Dakota on
Yeah,
next
I
week.
think that could be fun.
Yeah. He's
Talk to him a little bit.
yeah. If I can pull him away from all the stuff that he has going on, it's awesome working with him. So yeah, looking forward to getting Dak on here
It'll be fun.
for sure.
When I first got up here, he was actually one of the first people that I met in prof in the first 30 seconds of me meeting him. We made fun of him about something.
Yeah.
It's like, I like it here.
Yeah. Dak works all the time. I mean, we all do, but that guy, just like anything else, he's a lot behind the scenes stuff that nobody even sees ever, never will. But he doesn't really care as long as the product that we keep putting on the ice, and the guy's awesome to work with. So pretty lucky to have the staff that we have, with adding Stu and obviously Prof. It's a power staff, so it's fun to go to work every day.
It goes back to the old saying, hard work will beat talent, and talent doesn't work hard. And I mean, everybody in the organization is working hard, even people that you don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like Joel and Tunnel and Nelly, who does all the broadcast stuff.
Yeah, all of our volunteers at all of our games. I mean, everyone that chips in are so important to us, and they don't get thanked enough. But like our billets, and I mean, it's just everybody's involved, and this, it's exciting that this weekend is our home series and we get to see all of them again, because a lot of them we haven't seen yet. So just thankful for all the volunteers and everybody in the community that helps out make our game special, and just looking forward to seeing the fans.
Well, Coach, I mean, that's all I got for right now.
I love it.
I'm excited for next week. We'll have Dak. We'll have play breakdowns, because we'll finally have some game footage.
Yes.
So I think that'll be fun to do. But yeah, that's all I got for this week.
Awesome. I love it.
We'll do the sign off here real quick, and then I'll get out of your hair.
And that'll do it for episode 5 of the Dog Den podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys are excited for episode 6 next week. Lots going to be going on. Finally get some game breakdowns. But remember, like, subscribe, comment. It always helps. We always appreciate it. If you're seeing this from Facebook, comment on Facebook, share it. That helps too. We love getting this out there. If you guys have any questions, I want to do the fan Q&A. Talk to me at games. Send me an email, Facebook message, something. Just try and get a hold of me so I can ask Coach your questions. I know we'll both appreciate it. You guys have definitely had some cool questions before. But yeah, that'll do it for episode 5 of the Dogs Den Podcast.